Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being again with me today. I have an article that will show how the mass media, in this case, the Ukrainian mass media, and I don't even think that they write their own articles. To be honest with you, I think the articles are written by some Western sleazy guys, and they're just published in the Ukraine under the Ukrainian mass media name. Well, nevertheless, this is just a gut feeling that I have, and the way I think I know how the world works, and we have the right to have this kind of gut feelings because we have our own experience, and why should my experience be less wiser than yours, or yours be less wiser than mine? So when someone tells you, "What's your experience?" Well, better than yours. That should be the answer. Because once that someone asks that, they don't know how much you know, and you don't know how much they know. That could only be assessed by direct conversation and a little competition of ideas and knowledge. So, nevertheless, we have here an article from the New Voice of Ukraine from June 30th, 2022, and this is the title: LGBT rainbow flag hung up at U.S. Embassy in Moscow. Okay, I'm a U.S. citizen. Uh, I personally don't want that flag to be hanging at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow or anywhere else. That's a state. That's a governmental institution. Why should they promote something that, I don't know? It's not even a governmental. How should I put it? Policy. It's not an institution. It's just a something, an ideology that I don't know how many Americans agree with that, but nevertheless, why is that put over there on my name that represents me? Maybe I disagree with that. Maybe I don't want it to be over there. Not that I have something to do with uh, whatever people would like to put their penises in their other people's butts of the same sex. I don't care about that. They can do whatever they want in their houses and whatever they want to do. But I don't want that to represent me because I don't think that's one of my values. As heterosexuality is not of their value, obviously. Oh, I have no problem with them, but I don't want that to represent me. It has nothing to do with me, but it's in a governmental institution. Well, I think I have something to say about that. It's no law saying that that flag should hang over there. No policy. Nevertheless, let's move on. So we have here U.S. diplomats on June 30th hung up a rainbow flag in front of the U.S. Embassy in Moscow, Russia, in solidarity with LGBT people, as seen in a photo posted on Instagram. What about my solidarity? Maybe some people do not celebrate that. Maybe some people are not solidar with that kind of movement. Maybe some people have different values. Maybe some people are really Christians and they really read the Bible and really figured out that that's a sin. So if you have 80% of Americans, according to the latest poll, identify as Christian and believing in God, then those people should obviously directly refuse to identify with this kind of I don't know, behavior. Otherwise, you're not a Christian. You can't be both. So if you see here denominations with this and that and that, that's not reality. That's not based on the scriptures. That's clear over there. Try to bend it however you want. It's black on white over there. Nevertheless, let's move on. I don't understand why they would put that over there just to aggravate the Russians. That's why a lot of people who still have a certain kind of civilization in their souls, maybe they identify more with Russia than with the Western perversities here and there. You know what I mean? So maybe they say, well, maybe Russia is really the third Rome, which they think they are. You know why they think they are? Because it was the first Rome, Rome, and then it was the Roman Empire, and then it divided in two, Eastern and Western Roman Empire. The Western collapsed, was conquered. Remained the Eastern one, right, with a capital in Constantinople, right, in Byzantium. And then after that, it moved to, they claim, the Russians claim, because one of the, I can't remember what, princess got married with one Tsar. And when Byzantium was conquered, Constantinople, by the Turks, by the Ottomans, whatever you want to call it, Mehmet or whoever did that, when after they did it, then destroyed the East, the Western Empire was the third one which remained in Moscow. That's why they, the Russians, think that they are the third Rome. They are the continuation of the Roman Empire. So obviously they think that their culture and their values are the continuation from the ancient Greeks to the Romans, from the Romans to them, Byzantium, and from Byzantium to Moscow. And maybe a lot of people of a certain kind of group of people identify with that kind of culture more with than with let's say I don't want to say Western civilization, because Western civilization right now is hijacked in a certain way by certain groups, and that this is not really what we have here. It's a decadence of the Western civilization. So this is, as I said earlier, trying to poke fun at the United States. Moscow authorities renamed the square in front of the US Embassy in honor of the sham Donetsk People's Republic. Now, if you read that, you say, see, the Russians, the pigs, Russians, they started the hostilities and they renamed that just to poke it at Americans and ever. It would be, if that would be the real story, the entire story, I would say, okay, I understand he was poking back, but if they go low, you get lower. I got it. All right. In this case, if you go low with Donetsk Republic renaming the plaza, and you go with homosexual, whatever, rainbow flag, then you went lower than them, which is, I feel like throwing up. Nevertheless, but the story is not entirely the way these guys, the weasels, are portrayed to be. Because I tell you what, remember the 8th of March, 9th of March? There were countries in Europe, including in Washington, D.C., in New York, they tried to change, and they changed squares, market squares, and squares where the embassies or consulates of Russian consulates, they renamed the streets with New Ukraine, Free Ukraine, and other guys. And I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. So I have here an article because I knew, I paid attention. And it was a street in front of Russian embassy in Washington, D.C. to be renamed for slain Putin critic. Now this is from January 11, 2018. So this is the flag, and the Donetsk is 2022, sometime in May or something, June, when the Russians changed the name of Donetsk. But the Americans poked first in 2018. So who were the first who cast the first rock or stone? So, and then they renamed it to this guy. Listen who that guy was. Pay attention, please, the words. It says, January 11th, city officials in Washington, D.C. have unanimously, all of them, approved renaming a portion of a street in front of the Russian embassy to honor slain democracy activist Boris Nemtsov. We're going to find out who Boris Nemtsov was. It says here, now, right, let's see here. I have to look into this. A statement by the city council members said the move was made on the emergency basis. They would go in effect upon Mayor Muriel Bauer's approval. Now, the change would rename part of the Wisconsin Avenue in front of the embassy to 1 Boris Nemtsov Plaza, honoring the former deputy prime minister, a Jewish opponent of President Vladimir Putin, who was assassinated near the Kremlin in 2015. So he's Jewish, Zelensky is Jewish, Prime Minister of Ukraine is Jewish, the opposition in Russia was Jewish. I wonder if this guy would have won the elections one day. Russia would have a Jewish president too? Nothing wrong with that, right? You think so? How about having a few, I don't know, Romanians presidents of the United States? Would you like that? Do you think that if Romania gets in a scuffle with, let's say, Germany, do you think that the president of the United States, being Romanian, will have a little bias about all that? Do you think so? Or I'm going to be impartial? Well, anyway, so now you know who started in January 11th, 2018, and who retaliated like children, I would say, Russians, in 2022, and now these guys poking with the rainbow flag of a culture, of a Western civilization culture that didn't have that kind of thing, like that. So you tell me who started first. Well, we can go back and poking and poking and poking. Now, you know that it was not determined that Nemtsov, the Jewish, whatever his title was, he was not proven by any court that he was assassinated by Russian government. These are all allegations, and people say things. So unless it's an investigation was conducted, if you're aware of that, and they didn't find anything. So I don't know what to tell you. A lot of people here in the United States fly off balconies and they're deemed just, suicide, or they have heart attacks in hotel rooms, and the politicians here have suicide, deemed suicide, or I don't know, just have accidents with the tractors. Remember that former House Representative Trafficant, that was his last name. He just had an accident. The lawnmower or tractor fell and killed him somehow. He had some broken ribs and all that, but he was very critical of Israel. I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying people here die of certain weird causes, and nobody says, well, maybe, I'm not nobody, but the mainstream, maybe, maybe the government assassinated him. Oh, no, this is America. But if that happens in Russia, without any evidence that it must be Putin. You see, these are for people with below 86 IQ who believe in these kind of things. Thank you very. If they think that's the way the world is run, like, oh my God, yeah, we're the good guys here and they're the bad guys over there. Well, they need to be pushed a little bit more into the world and maybe slapped over the little head and, hey, wake up, see this? Wake up, see this, and maybe they will close their eyes and they will refuse to see reality, because reality will cause stress, and they will create a stressful reality to their worldview that is all, I'm good, we're good, we're moral, everybody's bad. It's hard. It's like someone will come and tell you, hey, you know what? Actually, those parents are not your biological parents that took care of you. What would you do? Would you say, oh, no? And you're going to prove, you're going to look, these parents that, take care of you, raise you, and so on, they're not your parents. They just bought you from a market when you were 6 months old. Would you say, yeah, let me see the facts? Or you say, get out of here. And even if they show you the facts, you will have a problem saying, yeah, man, maybe it's true, man. Let's talk with them, or maybe they're dead already. So what are you going to do? You're going to believe that? You're going to have a big problem accepting that, because you already are used to a different worldview. These are my parents. Can't be other way around. What are you talking about? Well, no, we are the good people. I mean, in kindergarten, grade school, high school, college, so everywhere, the politicians, the mass media told me that I'm the good person. We are the good ones. We must be. So you got to make some intellectual effort, do a little clicks over there, like 2 or 3, and read things that you might not like, but might be true, or they are true. Verified. A little bit of skepticism. That means knowledge. That, again, skepticism. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, be just. And those guys are weasels. They start wherever they wanted to start. They started with the Russians naming that little plaza Donetsk or Republic or whatever. They don't go for the, and there are some other articles back there where the Europeans started in, as I said, 9, 10, and 11th of March this year, like Lithuania and other countries. Poland, they changed the name of the streets in front of the embassy with Free Ukraine and so on. So who started first? With renaming, I'm talking. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.